Okay. Well, how about speaking of rebound, Shane? The Florida Gators trying to rebound in Columbia, night game. The Gators, 18.5-point favorite on the road. The over-under is 52.5. This game's at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on the SEC Network. The Gators lead all time in this series, 29-9 with 3 ties. And Florida's won 3 in a row. Who do you like in the matchup?
Who do I like? I don't like either team, Mike. That's the problem right now. I mean, South Carolina's banged up, thinned out. I know they've got some rest, but they're at home. But they're going through some stuff, man. They're going through some growing pains. And, I try to stay positive because they are 4-4. They do have an opportunity to still make a bowl. You do it by beating teams like Florida that have nothing right now. You talk about a spiraling program, that's the Florida Gators right now. Coaches coming out and explaining press conference. I mean, that's the topic right now is how they're handling things, and they're not handling it well. Florida is good at a couple things, though, Mike. They're good at defense. They're good at running the ball. The problem is, I think South Carolina, if you were just to name one thing that they're pretty good at, is stopping the run. Right. Okay, I know they've let some go through, but they got a pretty tough little stout defense up front at times, and I think that's something that they build on. So, Mike, I can't. One second, Mike. I got another beer coming to me here. Sorry, it's a 2-beer pod. You know what I'm saying? That's just where we're at. Thank you. All right. So, where was I? Oh, speaking of beer, I'm going to need a lot to finish this game, Mike, because it's just not going to be fun. It's not going to be entertaining. I do expect, however, Dan to be a little bit more aggressive. I expect him to take that young quarterback, that AR-15, the gun that we've heard about, and just cutting him loose. Let him have it. Let him have his.
No, hold on, Shane. I don't know if he's. No, we don't have confirmation, but it sounds like he may not play because he got a concussion in the last game. So it's up in the air of who Florida's going to be playing.
Wait, I have not. I was under the impression he's playing. What I've read. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that there's a chance he won't be there.
Correct.
Ooh, Mike. I mean, do I change the score? Because that's what in my mind I saw this coming out. Like, okay, listen, how do you shut people up, Mike? You come out, you do what you were promised to do when you came down to Florida. This is a team, South Carolina team, that should not be competitive against you right now. Okay, maybe 3-4 years from now, Coach Beamer gets his classes in there, gets his staff together, maybe. But right now, in this moment, there's no reason that Dan Mullen should lose to South Carolina. So maybe I adjust my score a little bit, Mike. I'm going to knock a point off, but I'm just telling you, I still think Florida is going to win this game handedly, just because that's how you shut the media up, and I think that's what Dan wants to do. Florida, I can run this thing all day long, Mike. Give me Florida 35, South Carolina 10.
Ooh. Yeah, this is a tough one for me, Shane, because last time we saw the Gamecocks, I mean, they look like an FCS team against Texas A&M. I mean, they just got destroyed. But each of the last 8 in this series, Shane, have been decided by 14 or fewer. A lot of close games in that series here. And Florida, of course, they imploded a little bit there in the second half against Georgia. We've seen, and this was what the confusing part, Shane. I mean, the last couple times they lost to Georgia and the season's kind of on the ropes. The first time they turned right around and they got blown out by Missouri, a Missouri team that I believe they were favored against. And then the next season they turned right around and I believe it was against Vanderbilt and beat them 50-0. So Dan Mullen has shown that he can get his team up right after a tough Georgia loss. He's also shown that he can get blown out after a tough Georgia loss. So, this is a confusing one for me. Like I said, don't know who's going to be playing quarterback. Hell, we don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for South Carolina either. I think it's going to be Jason Brown. I think they're going to turn it over to him, see what he's got. Shane Beamer's out here calling for the fans to show up, make this a home field advantage, and I've seen a lot of South Carolina fans are done with this season. A win right here against Florida, I think, turns that optimism right around and basically locks a bowl trip. So there's a lot on the line for the Gamecocks, Shane. The Florida Gators, not so sure. I think South Carolina makes this a close one, Shane. I almost pulled the trigger, made this an upset special, but like I said, South Carolina played so poorly the last time we saw them. It would be a massive, massive turnaround to pick them to win the very next game out. So I like Florida to win outright, but South Carolina to cover. I'm going Florida 28, South Carolina 20.
I think he plays, Mike. I get the iffy tag, but like, man, that's what you want to see, the young kid come out. They said he's been doing better this week. They said going into this thing, I don't know. I'm thinking we're going to see him come out. Florida bounces back, but hell, Mike, if there was a chance to upset the Florida Gators, it's now, like you said. Mm-hmm. I mean, South Carolina, you couldn't. That's like Clemson. You got two teams that you saw week one. There was no chance in hell that you were going to be able to compete with. Now you're looking and saying, well, if the stars line up, you're just going to have to play good ball. The main thing is like Beamer's saying, you got to have a home field advantage. That's one thing South Carolina does have. It's just getting all the fans there. So they do that. Maybe they make it rowdy. Maybe they make this a ball game.
And it's supposed to be cold as hell too, Shane. I mean, I don't know how much of a factor that plays, but with them Florida Gators, the Gators don't like to play in the cold, brother.
Hell no. I don't like to play in the cold.